This is the 30th anniversary of the A Christmas Fantasy Parade here at Disneyland. Now I want to show you some home video that I shot of the parade that was here at Disneyland before this one. The Very Merry Christmas Parade started with an overture. While waiting for the parade, you would be treated to a medley of Disney songs. Just as the overture would end, a full live band would be playing along with the parade's pre-recorded soundtrack. A spectacular way to start the parade. I recorded this in 1994. This was the last year of the Very Merry Christmas Parade before Christmas Fantasy, which started in 1995. You see that Christmas tree in the back? That was a live tree. Every year, starting on Thanksgiving Day, Disneyland was transformed overnight with all its Christmas decor, including that live Christmas tree. That's the tree backstage on a huge crane getting ready to go out to Main Street. A friend of mine in the decorating department recorded the Christmas installation, including the giant tree being brought down Main Street. Here it is after its very slow drive down Main Street, just hanging there while they're digging out the sleeve it's inserted into. Here they are guiding the base of the tree into the sleeve that remained there all year, just not visible to the public. The quality's not the best, but he shot this video in 1987. And there's the tree in place, waiting to be lit up. This parade also had live horses in it. And because this is Disneyland and everything is always kept clean, there's some people behind the horses to pick up any poop should the horses relieve themselves during the parade. After that elaborate entrance, the next unit is Sleeping Beauty. This begins the first half of the parade. It really was two parades in one. There was the first half, which was all based on Disney films, and then the second half was all Christmas. If you saw just the first half alone, you would have felt like you saw a great parade. Here's the Peter Pan section, and another unique thing about this parade is it had real kids in it. There's Wendy, John, and Michael, and you'll see the Lost Boys in a minute. There was some serious dancing in this parade too. You could tell Wendy is professionally trained. Look at that. Can you imagine that she did that all the way down the parade route? Did you see there's a follow spotlight on Wendy? They had people manually operating spotlights for the parade. Here comes the Lost Boys. There's the back of the float with Skull Rock, but that wasn't the end of the Peter Pan section. You've got to have Peter Pan and the pirates. Look at that. Again, they were doing this kind of stuff all the way down the parade route. The Very Merry Christmas Parade started in Disneyland in 1977. Over the years, they would change and update the parade, like this Beauty and the Beast section. This was added in 1992. Beauty and the Beast was just released in 1991. There used to be an Alice in Wonderland section in the parade, and that was removed by 1994, but here's a couple of photos that I took of it when it was there. There was also a Jungle Book section, and of course I took some pictures of that as well. there's Snow White and her wishing well, and all 7 dwarfs are there too. Did you know that Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs were a part of Disneyland's parades from the start? They were in the opening day parade in 1955. This is the Dance of the Hour segment from Fantasia, featuring the ostriches, alligators, and hippos. I still love the idea of hippos as graceful ballerinas, like in the movie, and this parade had a particularly comedic hippo bringing up the rear. The Mary Poppins section had dancing chimney sweeps, like in the movie. Again, it amazes me that they did that high-energy dancing and even some acrobatics all the way down the parade route. There's Mary Poppins. And there's Jane. Michael was in it too on the other side. The float resembles a rooftop of London, and the front and back roof slope down practically to the ground so that Mary Poppins, Jane, Michael, and the chimney sweeps could easily step off the float and dance in the street. The Mary Poppins section concludes the first half of the parade before the Christmas section. The second half of the parade was very much like the Christmas Fantasy Parade today, with many of the same elements. This portion of the parade starts with the toy soldiers. The toy soldiers are from the movie Babes in Toyland, which came out in 1961, and they're still a popular part of the Christmas parade today. And like today, they're all playing live music. Because this was the 1990s, it had Roger Rabbit. The movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out in 1988, and Roger Rabbit had a big presence in the park for many years. Roger Rabbit kicks off the Toyland portion of the parade, with all the dancing toys and children following him. This song, Toyland, was written back in 1903 for a Babes in Toyland operetta. Another song that came out of that operetta was the March of the Toys, and that's the song that the soldiers were just playing. Both of those songs were later used in the Disney version of Babes in Toyland. There's Ariel. The Little Mermaid was still a fairly new movie, coming out in 1989. Here's the gingerbread cookies section, again very much as it is today. The gingerbread men still dance down the parade route, but they look very different today than they did in 1984. Well, the bad part about this video is that I ran out of videotape, so I didn't get the end of the parade. But of course, I always took pictures of everything, so let me show you some of those. There's the snowmen, again quite a bit different than today's version. Those were the roller skating snowflakes in the parade, and behind them were Mickey and Minnie, and they were actually ice skating throughout the parade. Mickey and Minnie were followed by some Christmas carolers. Behind them were the very much beloved silly reindeer. And all this was followed, of course, by Santa Claus. Anyway, this was the last part that I got on video. And that's where it cuts off. But that gingerbread house is still in the parade today.
Wow!
Well, thank you for watching about the very Merry Christmas Parade. I'm grateful for all of you, and I'm grateful that I got 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I love sharing Disney history with you. And most of all, everyone, have a Merry Christmas.